Hey, what's going on? I am Simo Simpson. This is All You Can Friend. I am here in a big old house in the southwest-ish of France. It's part of a project, part of a community called Life Itself. And it's a 6-month residency here, up to. I may stay 1 month, I may stay longer, not sure yet. And it is an experiment, in a sense, of people coming to live together, to explore what it means to live together and how we can do that to nourish our own growth, nourish our connection with one another, and put wonderful things into the world. And it's probably the 7th-ish time I've lived in community, and every time I've done so has been the best time of my life. And I continue to believe that the real world nourishes us in a way that the digital realm cannot. But I think the internet is a really useful tool for people who feel isolated. If you are one of the 18% of Americans who have nobody to call on in an emergency, or one of the 50 or 50+% Americans have made no new friends in the last 5 years, I imagine the internet is a source of comfort and solace, and it even is for me sometimes. And I think it is for all of us to an extent. But I think there's a danger to the internet, that it pulls people in to get the sense that their needs are met in a satisfying enough way through social media and online gaming and whatever else we use the internet for, pornography and the news and Reddit, etc., etc. But I've got peanuts stuck in my mouth. Don't eat peanuts before making a YouTube video. Should be a piece of advice I take more frequently. But the internet can be a tool for people who, if you're fully isolated, there are communities online that are about going from online to real world connection, and I think they're really valuable. And I found this community kind of through the internet, and there are others. And I think what's unique about some communities online versus others that's really cool is that some communities are about powering everyone up. They're about how do we come together despite our differences? What does it mean to live together, to have community? What ideas can we explore together? What shared interests do we have? And if you just shared interest groups, if you've got a hobby that's a bit niche, maybe you can find people online that are into that. And I think all these different things that I'm naming online are a route to get from here, which is like 100% my life is just only socially satisfied through internet connection. There's no touch, I don't spend time in the real world with people, and versus here where people get all their needs met. In this corner of my screen is where the needs met people live. And I'm often not here. I kind of oscillate between, and it's a really hard journey. It's a journey I'm on, and I've learned so much about this over the last few years, and I want to be a guide for those who are stuck in this corner so that you can find connection. And so what I'm saying is finding online communities and groups with shared interests can be a route into real world connection. And so realizing if you're stuck in the corner without connection and that you want something different is the first step. Notice what it is, where you are, where am I and what do I want? Where am I in relation to like having connection with people in the real world, and what would I ideally want? Great. What's the first step to getting there? And that's a difficult question, because a lot of you are held back by social anxiety, and that's self-reinforcing. It's difficult to get out if you are feeling scared to get out, and the more you're scared to get out, the less you get out, and the more that reinforces itself. But there are ways through that, and I want to talk about those in this channel. And then there are some communities online that are not about moving beyond that, but there are some that are. And I would suggest thinking about what kinds of people you might want to spend time with in the real world, and how you might go about finding them online, if online is a source of easier connection than the real world for you. So yeah, I just wanted to say that although I think most people should be using the internet far less than they do to get their social needs met, there's a great use case for using it to find new connections. There's also the other thing of keeping in touch with people we already know, and that's a wonderful use for the internet, whether that's dropping a quick line to an old friend, or lining up calls occasionally, or group calls, or sending longer messages occasionally. There's a whole landscape of how we can keep in connection with people that we are not in connection with. And even if you've lost connection with people for a long time, you can reach out and reconnect. And I just want to give you that nudge as well, because I know how easy it is to slip away, and then it's like, oh, I can't reach back out. But it's quite possible the other person's feeling the same, and they'll be really grateful that you reached out to your old friend, your old connection, and that can be a great source of joy, and would like to encourage you to do that right now. So don't have to send the message immediately, but I want to say that in this moment. Is there anyone that you might want to reconnect with? Another question for you there. So just to recap, one question: what's your relationship to social connection right now? How much is it weighted towards online connection, and would you like to reduce that or keep it the same? What groups that you're part of on the internet might you be able to segue into the real world with? And is there anyone you haven't talked with for a while that you might reach out to? Peace. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.